I finally snagged this off Amazon a while ago, and well, that's something I've not heard for a while. Yeah, so it's a big boy locomotive, and I'm gonna make it into like a hover train. So, yeah, why not? My name is Aaron, and you're watching Terrain by Aaron. Well, aren't you a big boy? This kit comes in without the trailer at just over 10 inches. It's going to be bigger than expected, and yes, I realise what I've just said. But please, let's move on from the schoolground smut. This is a serious build, people. Blimey, when are any of my builds serious? Let's start with making a template from card and then transferring that to 2mm styrene. Now, I could have used cardstock, but styrene would be stronger to do what I have in mind. I'm going to make a second piece slightly bigger than the first, and you'll see why shortly. I round off the edges by just snapping away the corners and just sanding it down with a sanding stick. I'm adding cut down pokey ear sticks to use as posts, which I'll apply to the styrene. These posts are only for aesthetic reasons and nothing else. That was my original plan at the start, to make like a sandwich, but would seriously hamper my greeblies I want to add, so I go with plan B. Plan B is flip it over so the posts are pointing down, hence the posts are there for no reason, and that is what kit bashing or scratch building is all about, making it up as you go along. I did have one clear plan though, and that was to try and use as much of these greeblies as possible on this build. This gum container has a nice look to it. I can pretend it's some kind of, I don't know, reactor. And that's the first piece of many that is going down on the styrene. This spice container lid has a cool little greebly I'll cut out and use. Then I just go about randomly sticking bits of plastic to plastic, which in some viewers' eyes requires no skill, to which I reply, who said I had any skill? While I stick bits down, let's do the shout out wall to my subscribers who have left funny comments on previous builds. Keep them coming, I reply to all, good or bad. Also please, if you haven't already, drop a like, and more importantly, hit the subscribe button. It's free and really helps out my channel. So this is what the base looks like after applying all those greeblies. Admittedly, it looks a complete mess, but once a splash of colour is added, you'll think it's some kind of hover transportation unit. Hopefully. It's looking a bit dull at the back, and I feel it needs some propulsion engines. 2 yogurt containers are perfect for this, and that was terrible editing, and I can only apologise for that. Anyway, I cut them down. I add some cardstock to hide the poorly cut edges. I cover the hole with EVA foam and greeble them up with bits to make them look more like engines, or exhausts, or both. And then hot glue them down to the base. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice I'm using a new hot glue gun. The first one deceased on me, so I had to wait and bring out my spare. I don't know if it's me, but my glue guns don't seem to last. If any of you have a good glue gun, let me know in the comments. I need a reliable one. So that's the bottom of the hovercraft done. You won't see much of it in the final glamour shots, but I know it's all there. So it's on to the train bit, and this is where you see a grown man struggle trying to follow the instructions of how to build a train. And yes, most of the parts didn't fit properly. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong with trying to make model kits. It's probably why I just kit bash all the time. It's a lot easier. So I struggle for a little bit longer until I finally coax it into place. You will fit, you will fit. I will make you fit. I'm just going to chop bits off here just to make it fit. I salute these professional model kit makers who have the patience to build these kits. Me, it just annoys the hell out of me. But here's a quick montage of me building this train. So there we have the train all built. Don't look too closely as things were modified to make it fit. And as you can see, my measurements were way off as usual, so a quick nip and tuck is needed. As I snapped the track off, I had the horrible vision I'd taken too much off. Luckily, it just fit. I'm just going to modify the train with some tubing. And because I'm not using a carriage, I'll just snip this bit off. I'll add some bits that wouldn't fit in the instructions randomly to the train. I apologise to die-hard train builders. And finally glue the track to the styrene. Give it a once over with some black and then I'll go in with some airbrush paints. I'm just going to use some browns and some lighter tones just to try and give the track a little bit of a rusted look. Here I'm just toning down the brown with a little bit of grey. All I'm actually doing is just, I don't know, spraying random colours on until I get something that I like. I guess it's code word time. Want to leave a comment? Put this code word in your comments so I know you've got here before jumping on a train to the glamour shots. And the code word is Cappuccino Express. Please also like and subscribe. Thank you. For the underneath of the train, I'm going with a tan colour. Don't ask me why, because I couldn't give you an answer. And because I liked how the train track came out, I'm using the same sort of colour scheme for the wheels of the train. Have you noticed I've not really said anything about the new air gun that I've had recently? I've used it now for a little bit and, you know, it's fantastic. I'm not going to give you the name because I'm not sponsored by them. If anybody wants to know who it is and where I got it from, drop me an email or a comment and I'll tell you. But basically, yeah, I've had no problems with this so far. You know, a build serious when you start bringing out the masking tape, and for the top part I just thought I'd go with yellow. No reason really, but I just, out of my wheelhouse really, is with the colour. I know the first coat looks a bit patchy, but that's how I want it to look, like it's been around for a while and it's been left to the elements. I go in with a paintbrush just for the little details of brass that I'm just going to add either side of the train. I break out the powders to add a little rust to the train track. For the underneath of the hover train, I'm going to start with a brownish colour. Before adding some lighter colours just to bring out some of the little bits and pieces of the model. I thought the engines needed to have a different colour entirely, so I'm just going to paint them a pumpkin colour. And for the main reactor, well, it's got to be red. Turquoise for the piping, and trust me, it will tone down once I put a wash on it. Once all the weathering is done on the train, it's time to stick it down to the train tracks, and I hope this works, I hope this works. Oh, there we go. I bought some beads so I can use these beads to tie the train down to the track as this. Let me just try and get this open first because this is becoming a bit. Hang on 1 second. I bought some beads to. Oh my god, why can't I get this open? Oh, come on now, it's just a plastic bag. Why? Just hold on a second, please. Having released the chain from the bag, I then lay it over the train either side and then glue it into place. Once that is all done, I then go in with some red and white for some health and safety lines, just so people are aware that there's a post there. And that's how the underneath of the Sky Hover train looks. And I'm now going to attach the top to the bottom. So I guess glamour shots are next.